Hi ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another beautiful video. I hope you're enjoying your day today and I hope your weekend is going to go great as it is the weekend. Time is really flying by. Literally this week it felt like, I don't know, yesterday felt like it was Monday and now it's already Saturday, so it's really crazy how fast time is going now. So yeah, anyways guys, I just wanted to mention, okay, just several things. First things first, right, is if you would like to book your consultation, your hypnotherapy consultation, or your fitness and nutrition consultation, then please email me, okay. I do one-on-one sessions, and I also have created audios for hypnotherapy, okay. So you can also request a personalized one as well, so it doesn't have to relate to anything in particular. However, there's a side note, okay. We will have to do a consultation too, because in most cases, okay, depending on what you're going to what you need to focus on, because I need to make sure that hypnotherapy is for you and that you're even allowed to do it, or because certain people with certain conditions, they cannot do hypnotherapy. It can actually be counterintuitive or counterproductive. So not everyone is allowed to use hypnotherapy, as surprising as this might sound. Okay, also, if you haven't already gotten my book, what are you doing now? Anyways, if you guys are parents, of course this isn't for everyone, okay, but this is my book, okay, and it's called Rising Children Learning Positive Values and Habits. If you haven't gotten this book yet, then feel free to get it. You can get it on Amazon, or you can request a book directly from me, just by emailing me, okay. And it's an amazing book. It teaches kids, healthy morals and values, how to share, listening to their intuition, healthy eating, giving from their heart, taking care of nature, and so on. So, and yeah, and the pictures are absolutely stunning. So check it out, guys. Check it out if you have kids. This is an amazing book. To get. It's fun. I use kind of like rhymes, to kind of get the message across, basically. So yeah, but now that we've covered all of that, let's get into the actual message of the video, okay? The message of the video is that I wanted to discuss certain synchronicities and certain signs and numbers that you will see when you're in alignment, okay? In alignment with your purpose, in alignment with who you are as a person, when your energy has increased and you're vibrating at a higher frequency, you're going to start seeing, when you're balanced within, you're going to start seeing certain numbers all the time. But I just wanted to mention something too, okay? Different numbers represent different things. And so you might see several of them at a time. It might not just be one. So pay attention to that, okay? And of course, listen to your inner voice, listen to your intuition as far as to what these numbers can mean for you. I will give you an example of this. I've been seeing the number 69, okay? And 69 can represent yin and yang, or it can represent completion from within, or balance from within. Okay, and so once again, that can indicate that you're in perfect alignment. Or I would like to call this, being in alignment, I would like to call it being on God's frequency. Whereas you're receptive, or yes, you're in a receiving mode. You're attracting people, places, opportunities to you, and you're able to pick up on the messages that are coming to you from the divine, or yeah. So that's just one way of putting it, right? So 69 can represent completion. A lot of us are going through very similar things at this time. I noticed this even, through my by watching some of my favorite YouTubers. A lot of them have moved, just like I just did, right? A lot of them, in fact, many of them have moved, which is crazy. But so, but collectively, a lot of us are at this time. A lot of us are experiencing similar things, similar situations, and we're going through similar cycles. And at this time, as the winter draws near, and the leaves are falling, right? It's the fall. Um, it's a signal of completion or death, okay? And a lot of us are ending painful cycles. Sometimes painful cycles. Sometimes just ending certain cycles in our life, okay? And so 69 can once again represent completion of a cycle and the beginning of a new one. And yes, so when you if you're seeing, there are certain signs that you can start seeing as well, and these signs can also represent completion or death of an old cycle and the beginning of a new one. So let's just say, for example, if you've been seeing dead birds everywhere. I've literally been seeing dead birds everywhere, okay? And I began to wonder what this can mean. And so I started doing some research, and this made sense in relation to what I was going through also, okay? So dead birds, it's not necessarily a bad omen. It doesn't mean anything terrible or bad. It just means the end of a cycle, sometimes a painful cycle, a difficult cycle. Okay, so if you've been seeing dead birds, then there you go. Okay, it's you're either about to complete a cycle, a painful one, or it's coming very, very soon. Okay, so there's that, right? Once again, seeing 1111 can also represent alignment and being aligned to the God frequency. I call it the God frequency, or high frequency, basically, right? A lot of people don't understand is that more often than not, to receive a message, kind of like radio waves, right? You have to tune into the right frequency. Otherwise, you do not understand, or you don't have the capacity to receive the message. So sometimes people that are vibrating at a lower frequency, they cannot receive the messages that are coming from people that are on a higher frequency, because they simply do not have the energetic capacity at that time to receive the message. And so they have to grow and evolve and integrate certain lessons, and they basically have to evolve, right? That's like one good word, right? Evolve. They have to evolve in order to start receiving those messages that are on a higher frequency. Okay, and so not everyone can do that, but we certainly have the capabilities to do that, and we have the capacity to do that if we really, really want to, right? And so 1111 is, once again, it can represent a doorway into the spiritual realm. It's a wake-up call also. It can mean many different things, but it can also mean alignment. At that time, the time when you're seeing 1111, you're aligned, you're balanced from within, and you're on God's frequency. Okay, so that, or at least that's what I call it, the God's frequency, right? When you're in alignment, you're also going to notice that you will start, for example, finding a lot of money. Okay, you're going to find coins. You're going to start, money will kind of like start coming to you. Okay, you're going to get opportunities. People are gonna maybe donate if you have a channel, or you're going to, once again, that higher frequency is a vibrational match to money. Okay, and so once you're in alignment, once again you become extremely attractive, kind of like money, right? And so and because you're whole, you do not, or you feel whole or in balance, you do not feel like there's anything missing. When you feel like there's nothing missing and that you have everything, you already have everything, maybe despite the way that things look in your external environment, when you're feeling whole on the inside, you're going to start attracting everything to you, because as within, so without, right? So sooner or later, your external environment is going to start matching your internal environment, right? Because there's no other way around. Okay, so so don't, have no fear, because if you once again, if you work on your internal environment, then once again the external has no choice but to follow. Okay, and so you have to, that's just the way it is, right? And so there's that, right? Let me just drink some tea. So once again, 69, let's get back to the 69, okay? It can also represent a yin and yang, or the coming of something special, a special soul. We've all made spiritual contracts before we even incarnated here. And so your soul has agreed to meet a certain individual, a certain soul, at a specific time, divine timing, right? And so there's no missing this point. There's no missing it. You might, the dark forces, the dark principalities might try to hinder that somehow. They might try to prevent you from meeting your soulmate, from this thing. They might try to prevent something very special, a significant event from happening, from taking place, but it's destined and they cannot stop it, actually, right? So it's going to happen sooner or later. They might try to take you off course, but sooner or later it's going to happen anyways. There's nothing they can do about it. You guys, before I had my spiritual awakening, there were dark forces, dark spirits that were trying to prevent that event from happening. I think I already told you guys the story. It was crazy, but it's funny because I noticed it. I noticed the events. I noticed the little events before my spiritual awakening, the very important meeting with God, basically, right, that I had. And or before that kind of so before I had my spiritual awakening, I noticed that I was being distracted. On my way there, on my way to the mountain, right, and where I was gonna meditate, a lot of different events happened before, and there were dark forces trying to stop me. One of them was, I already discussed this in one of my videos, right? But one of them was a gypsy or a fortune teller. And she tried to pull me into her shop. She ran out and like did like a huge sprint after me, okay? She literally ran for 50 to like 100 meters to try to get to me, which was absolutely insane. I just walked past and I was like, what is she doing? And so I was about to go with her, but then I just decided not to, right? I was like, why do I feel this like energetic pull towards that place, right? But then I almost walked in, guys, but then I just walked out. I was like, what am I doing? Like, I never go to fortune tellers, you know, so what the heck? Like, it was very strange, okay? But anyway, so I got out, right? And then as I continued to walk, okay, I did mention to you guys that these spirits can, as crazy as it sounds, they can jump bodies, okay? And so if you're a very low vibrational individual, then you're definitely, you know, you're vulnerable to that, and you're a good candidate. You're the perfect candidate for these entities to jump into. And so they're going to use anyone who is low vibrational to try to get to God's chosen, or to try to prevent them from you know, getting to a certain destination or meeting a certain individual, or from a pivotal point in their life, or from hitting a pivotal point in your life, such as meeting your soulmate, or you know, um, you know, it can be any important event basically that's life changing, right? Such as in my case it was the spiritual awakening, right? And so I and then, you know, like, let's go back to the story, right? So as I crossed the street, a guy stopped in his car. The guy looked like the devil. Okay, guys, it was really weird, right? He had gold all over him. He was covered in gold, and he had really, really long nails. Okay, I have no idea why I let him give me a ride. You know, he asked me if I wanted the ride, and I said, sure. It was also once again very strange, because I felt like almost compelled to get into the car, and I don't know why I let him give me a ride, right? And then as soon as I jumped in, I was like, what did I just do? Why did I just let him give me a ride? So he was trying to just he started talking to me, right? And he's like, can I he's like, let's go there, let's go there. He was trying to take me, of course he was trying to get me to go somewhere else. And I was like, no, I'm sorry, can you just let me out of the car? Actually, I was like, thank you so much for the ride, you know. I was like, that was really, you know, silly of me to jump in and allow me to, you know, it was silly of me to basically get into his car, you know. And I noticed his really long nails after, you know, he was covered in gold. He was a Russian guy, right? But anyway, so I jumped out of the car as soon as like 5 minutes later, probably, right? And he seemed really desperate to get me to go somewhere else, okay? And so I jumped out, and once again I felt that dark entity that felt very similar in him, as strange as it sounds, right? And so and then I kept on going, and there was even a third person, okay? And that was already in the park. When I was in the park, right, overlooking the Golden Gate Park, or the Golden Gate Bridge, there's like a little park there, right? And it's like, it's overlooking the bay. It's really, really beautiful, you know? If you guys ever get a chance, you can, you know, definitely visit. I forgot the name of it, okay? So I go there, right? And I'm about to meditate. And someone jumps out of the bushes, some guy, and he just starts talking to me, just like bothering me, and just telling me I don't even remember what he was saying, you know, but he was like distracting me basically, right? And I was thinking, this is the same spirit, you know, and I felt it too. And I was like, wow, this is crazy, you know. So once again, 3 distractions on my way to the spiritual awakening before that pivotal point in my life where everything completely changed and my life did a 360, right? Yeah, I had many distractions that were trying to come into my life and to take me off course, right? And so back to the number 69, right? So this can happen to you too, okay? And so if you're seeing 69, it could also indicate a very important meeting that might take place very, very soon with your soulmate, right? 69 is a yin and yang sign also. It represents the masculine and the feminine and the meeting of the masculine and the feminine. But I don't believe that it necessarily always relates to soulmates. I believe sometimes it, I mean, not soulmates as in, I believe soulmates, they can be your children too, okay? As in the case of like a soulmate family, right? It's like your tribe basically, right? So to me, the number 69 can also represent, it doesn't necessarily mean it's romantic, because before my son was born, guys, I also noticed that I started seeing 69 everywhere, okay? And then my son was born. And so once again, I think it does relate to your soul tribe. It doesn't necessarily mean a romantic partner, although in many cases it will mean that, right? So it's different for everyone, okay? But if you're seeing 69, I think a very close meeting is near, and just pay attention, because once again, the devil will try to distract you and take you off path. He's gonna try to bring in his minions, right? And they're going to try to take you off path to prevent you from meeting that certain individual that's meant to be in your life, but it can never happen. They will, sooner or later, and especially if you have a contract with them, the meeting is going to take place, and there's just no way to prevent that from happening. So yeah, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I mentioned everything. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and have a good one, okay?